Hey, good morning, family. Hope you're having a great Tuesday morning. I am doing excellent, and we're going to get the show started in less than 30 seconds. Please take some time and like and share today's show. All right? Please like and share today's show. On today's show, I'll be talking about numerous topics, but in general, don't be fooled. Again, don't be fooled by meaningless gestures. Don't be fooled by symbols, paint on the street. Don't be fooled by white folks kneeling in front of black folks. Don't be fooled by none of that. Stay on point. We'll get started in just a minute. Hey, thank you, Wanda, for the share. Appreciate you. We'll get started in less than 30 seconds.
Stereophonic sound for the home is recorded on two separate tracks, each one giving special emphasis to certain sections of the orchestra, as heard from those positions. Now, when played back simultaneously on two separate systems, the sounds are blended together to achieve a new dimension in sound, impossible to obtain in a monaural recording.
Everybody, welcome back. There it is. Welcome back, everyone. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning in Mr. Ivy's neighborhood, so to speak. And as always, my pleasure to be with you. And a lot of things to discuss today. Hey, good morning to you. A lot of things to discuss today. You might be thinking, Nate, why do you have a sweater on? Because we had the AC on all last night. And it's freezing inside the house this morning. So good morning to you. How has the last 24 hours been? Hopefully it's been well. Good morning to the choppers. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. A lot to discuss, as I've said before, a lot to discuss this morning. I've seen some really interesting images over the last 24 hours that we just must discuss. And this show, if you don't know, is a show that's broadcast live from Cincinnati, Ohio. We talk about people, politics, and pleasure, in particular, black people, black politics, and black pleasure from a Cincinnati perspective. If you like to share your thoughts this morning, you can do so pretty easily. 513-873-7134. Okay, go ahead and lock me in. And as a matter of fact, if you're the kind of person that likes to talk, likes to call into talk shows, radio shows, go ahead and lock me into your phone under Nathan Ivey. That way you can get back to the show whenever you want to very, very quickly. 513-873-7134. Again, go ahead and lock me in, and we'll always stay connected. Good morning to you. How are you? Have you seen the images of, I'm not even sure what this took place for, but there were some white folks that were kneeling in front of black folks, and they were praying for they were praying for a better tomorrow, I guess. They were praying for forgiveness. I want to put this video up on the screen for you. I want you to check this out if you haven't already seen it. And see, this is the kind of stuff that might be well-intentioned, but it doesn't really mean anything. You know what I'm saying? Overcome with emotion. I just don't understand it. Maybe I'm just cut from a different cloth. Maybe it's the generation I was born in. I don't understand what the issue is. If it's not equity, policy, or tangibles, there's nothing to be crying for. You haven't accomplished anything. You know what I'm saying? Equity, policy, tangibles. That's what this is all about right now. I'll say it with me, y'all. Equity, policy, tangibles. If it's not one of those three, if not all three, then it don't really matter. Painting on the street don't matter. I haven't been down to City Hall in about, I don't know, it was like a couple of weeks ago maybe. I was down there and I was doing some one man, new black media journalism. But I did see within the last matter of fact, it was early this morning, somebody posted an image of what it looks like right now. The Black Lives Matter mural, and it's ruined. It's got track marks all through it. How is that visionary leadership? But the visionary leadership didn't think ahead enough to figure out how not to destroy the mural. And they said that I was anti-black artist. No, the people that didn't think it all the way through were the ones who were anti-black artists, whipping black people up into a frenzy because of their emotions with no real tangibles behind it. And I know people are working on a lot of different things that I've seen in the newspaper and some I've heard about. I think it's 100%, and I think it's great. But paint on the street is just that, paint on the street. Where y'all at? Where's all the pro-black artist folks? I'm telling you, folks, I don't care about paint on the streets. I don't care about people kneeling. I don't care if the police chief kneels. I don't care if all the city council kneels. It makes no difference if you're not getting equity, policy, and tangibles. That's what this time is about. That's what it should be about. And I'm a little bit concerned that people are going to go back to, hibernation. You got the NFL that's coming up. You got the NBA that's starting up on July 30th. So 2 weeks from now. But I'm here to tell you, loud, local, and vocal, that none of that matters. Don't invest in meaningless gestures. Okay? Don't invest in people saying they sorry. Don't invest in prayer walks. Why are you? It's COVID-19 is real. And you gathering hundreds of people for a prayer walk downtown? A prayer walk? Are y'all kidding me? I mean, I'm not necessarily saying anything about the power of prayer. I mean, I think prayer, meditation, human focus can be very, very powerful. But it's a pandemic, folks. And what we've learned is that God is not going to protect you from COVID-19. If you think that's going to happen, you are sadly, narcissistically mistaken. It's not going down like that. You're going to risk what for what? What was accomplished at the prayer walk that they did over the weekend? What was accomplished? I mean, I kind of drove through it. I was on my way to somewhere else. And I'm like, where are all these people coming from? And I started to see the unified Cincinnati signs. I love a unified Cincinnati. We should be unified in three things: equity, policy, and tangibles. Not gathering hundreds of people during a pandemic to pray. You could pray at home. You could do that on a Zoom call. Ridiculous. But I guess I'm different. 513-873-7134. I love to get your thoughts about it. I saw these images, man. It's like, I'm not going to say it's completely ruined, but that it didn't look good. I'm not happy about it because I think that the artists and the people involved put a lot of energy in it. I blame the politicians and the people involved for not thinking ahead. And, this was never about paint on the streets. It was always about equity, policy, and tangibles. Anything other than that, any conversation other than that is really a distraction. But I think it's a damn shame that the politicians didn't look ahead. And then I read this article, man, where the city manager was like, man, we ain't got no money for this. You ain't got no money for this. Y'all didn't think this through? He's like, man, this is going to be very difficult. You got all kind of legal constraints, and we got to get the people that understand how the flow of traffic works. You got businesses down there and residents. Y'all didn't think this through? I know there's a lot of smart people involved. I'm sure they'll work it all out. But as we sit here right now, I want to make this point again that people don't like. That we as black people in Cincinnati are in the exact same position that we were before the mural was painted on the streets. Nothing has changed whatsoever. Nothing has changed. I'm just saying. And all this kneeling in front of black folks don't mean a damn thing. If you ain't delivering something that actually matters, what's the point? It's just meaningless. It's just a waste of time. And I saw the video, and it was the black dude was, I think I'm going to cry. Too much soy in his diet, man. He's estrogenic. Estrogenic black man. Omar writes, Nate, you didn't get the memo. You can't spread COVID if you are protesting or rioting. Is that right? To me, it's just any public gathering, but maybe I'm different. 513-873-7134. We will get there together, family. We will get there together. Now, somebody said they were having some issues with the sound. If you are, please let me know. I want to make sure that everything is working correctly today, and to make sure that the visual's up as well. If not, I'm going to restart it. I'm going to stop it and restart it real early. That seemed to work yesterday, so I'll keep with that. Again, 513-873-7134, man. Let me see. No, we're good. You can see it. Let me see if I can put this image, man. It's an image of the Black Lives Matter mural downtown with it's not skid marks, but it's track marks. Because that's I guess I didn't really think about it, but more I think about it, that's a very highly traveled, street, because it leads to the interstate highway. You can get on 75. You can get over to the Duke Energy Convention Center, and then you could also go into other parts of downtown. And I think it's a damn shame that the people involved didn't think ahead. You know what I'm saying? And maybe they're working on it right now. If so, great. I'm sure I'll be proven wrong, and gladly so. But until then we're going to have this conversation. Got everybody all whipped up, you know what I'm saying, about black artists, about Black Lives Matter painting the street, and now what? Now what? Again, I'll say black people are in the same position now as we were before that was painted on the streets, because paint on the street is not real work or social or political engagement. It's just paint on the streets. The people involved keep saying, like, just wait and see. You're going to see we got something coming. I don't doubt that. But that underscores my point, that it's the work that really matters and not the paint on the streets. I don't know why they got so upset when a brother kept it real with them. But, people in Cincinnati have their agendas, and they get mad when you don't go along with them. You think outside the box and think for yourself. It is what it is. Hold on. I'm getting blinded by the sunlight coming into the studio this morning. Please like and share today's show. So don't get caught up with paint. Don't get caught up with statues coming down, although I don't want to live in an area that's had racist Confederate statues or Charles McMicken. I mean, why are we glorifying these slave owners? I'm down with that. I don't think we should be glorifying slave owners. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. If you was a slave owner, the whole argument about, well, it was a different time. And you're right. It's a different time. We know better. We should be doing better. I'm all with that. I'm not here to glorify Christopher Columbus. If people want to take that down, I'm with it. Because he was a rapist, a savage, a thief. He didn't discover a damn thing. How do you discover somebody else's home? That's like me knocking on your door. I think we just discovered a new property, but it's a family that lives there. You don't get no props for that. It was straight up white supremacy. They've been teaching black and brown children lies about who discovered what since the day they went into school. They're still doing that nonsense. It is nuts, man. Meanwhile, COVID-19 is real. COVID-19 is super real. It ain't going nowhere. It's super real. It's super real. And your governor is what? He said, like, he's like a toothless tiger, man. He don't know what to do. Because what we really should be doing is thinking about how we're going to close things down. But because he's so afraid of the business community, I guess, or the backlash from the Trump administration, I'm not really sure who he's afraid of the most. He won't do that. Right now, there's a serious conversation being had by Cincinnati public school teachers. Some of them are scared to death, and they should be scared to death. They are scared to death that they're being forced to go back to work. And it's kind of like my livelihood or my life. Now, that's a hell of a position for a school teacher to be in. I sympathize with you. That's a hell of a position. It's like, I got to go back to work. I got to keep the bills, got to keep the lights on. I got to eat food, pay whatever. whatever, my retirement fund, whatever you got to pay for. At the same time, everybody with common sense knows, except for Trump and Betsy DeVos, the education secretary, that when you get a lot of people together in one big building, whether they're children, whether they're senior citizens, whether they're middle age, it doesn't really matter. That it could spark a flame. It could increase the COVID number of infections. It's just common sense. But we're supposed to suspend common sense because Donald Trump thinks that the whole conversation about children not returning to school or students not returning to schools and schools not reopening is somehow a plot against him running for re-election. To hell? He sees everything like that. Everything that he doesn't like is a plot for his efforts to be the president again. That's it. I saw the interview from, 2 days ago? And the reporter asked him what was his advice for parents. He said, basically, go back to school. He started talking about how it's a plot against his re-election efforts. What? The hell, the man does not care about you. Betsy DeVos, education secretary, is threatening to pull federal funds, even though these funds were authorized by Congress. Right? This is what you want to do as an education secretary? Because they say that there's no credible information that if students return to school, that somehow they'll be at risk. What world are we living in? Am I the only person that sees right through that? I can't be. So I sympathize for all of the teachers and administrators. I know a lot of them are thinking, man, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back until it's absolutely safe. And what I'm afraid of is, let's say mid-August. So what is this, about a month and a few days from now? So we'll just say a month. We'll round it down to a month. Students going to return to school. COVID-19 spikes. And then what? Everybody's saying, oops, my bad, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm just saying, students should not be, subjects of your grand experiment. What the hell is this? The Tuskegee experiment circa, 2020? Let's see what happens. We know what's going to happen. It's happening already. But again, what do you think? 513-873-7134. Again, I sympathize with the teachers. That's a tough situation to be in. I don't even know what the recourse is for teachers. Can you say, look, I'm not going back? You can always say that, then I guess you lose your job. But that's a hell of a position right now. And again, we don't even know where we will be in Hamilton County. And isn't Hamilton County one of those counties that's been kind of singled out in Ohio as having a high risk? Or we're in the red, right? The governor has this color charted sort of warning label system for all the counties that's supposed to give us a visual representation of where COVID-19 is having an increase and where it's not having an increase. But as I understand, is that in Hamilton County? So what are we doing here? I don't know. You tell me. 513. I'm trying to make sense of the world we live in. I don't have all the answers. I got a lot of questions. 513-873-7134. If you want to share your thoughts this morning. It is absolutely crazy out here. Telling you. And when your baby gets sick, nobody's going to have anything for you. It's going to be on mom and dad. It's going to be on you, dad. It's going to be on you, mom. It's going to be on the family to take care of them. And people will say, oops, my bad. We should have thought this through. Yeah, you should have thought this through. You're right. You should have thought this through. You're absolutely right about this. I'm having a lot of mixed feelings about it, family. Wanda writes, good morning. Good morning to you, Wanda. Saran writes, good morning to you. Deborah writes, good morning, Nathan. Equity, policies, tangibles. That's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that matters right now. I also want to talk about LeBron James. LeBron James is probably the preeminent sort of star in the NBA right now. Just like me, a son of Ohio. He was born in the state of Ohio. He's the son of Ohio, just like myself. 3-time NBA champion, or maybe it's a 4-time NBA champion. I can't remember. And it's kind of interesting. I want to talk about this because I agree with LeBron James. The NBA has this new policy where they are going to allow players, NBA players, to put social justice messages on the back of the jerseys, right? And that's a little bit old school, right? Because I remember World Be Free. Remember World Be Free back in the day? World Be Free. So the NBA decided that in a league that's overwhelmingly black, that they wanted to do something. And so they wanted to allow the players to make statements on the back of their jerseys. So instead of having their name, it'll have like a statement like, I can't breathe. But the problem is, and if I was in the NBA, I have a problem with it as well, is that they've got like 29 pre-approved messages. It's not like you as a player, pardon me, it's not like you as a player can just decide what you want on the back of your jersey, right? That you're actually wearing that represents you. No, the NBA owners, along with the union, they sat down and agreed upon 29 pre-approved social messages. Anybody see the problem with that off the top? Check this out. What I can put on the back of my jersey? Hell no. No. I just won't participate at all. It ain't that serious. So people are criticizing LeBron like, well, wait, how are you not going to participate? You must not care. No, he cares. He's just not going to let the corporate forces within the NBA tell him what's on the back of his jersey. You can't even put World Be Free. You can't put that. You can't put that. I think also Black Lives Matter. That's another one that's been pre-approved. You can put Black Lives Matter on the back of your jersey. You'll probably see a lot of players do that when the NBA reopens. A lot of white players that love black folks and maybe married to black women or whatever, have black friends. They'll be putting Black Lives Matter on the back of their jerseys. But what the hell? Talk about curtailing free speech. I don't get it. I ain't with it. So I'm with LeBron on that. Yeah, he's right to do so. He's right to do so. Again, 513-873-7134. But don't even be fooled by that. I'll tell you what these NBA players should be doing is they should be passing up their money and start like an NBA player pack. That's what they should do. They got all this money. You know what I'm saying? They could transform that money into real legislative power, right? Into some kind of real influence. I got a chance to watch a snippet on ESPN. And there's a lot of times when I disagree with Stephen A., but he actually made that point, and I agree with him. You don't hear nobody talking about that. That's what they should be doing. Rather than putting some corporate pre-approved message on the back of their jersey. What does that mean? It means nothing. It's meaningless. It has no real power in it whatsoever. It might be a conversation starter, and maybe it might lead to something. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But in and of itself, it means absolutely nothing to me, at least, family. You might have a different opinion on it. If so, I want to hear your opinion. Again, 513-873-7134. Let's jump inside the chop shop, shall we? And say good morning. And get away with it. And we saw it. Because you had racist systems that were in place that really wouldn't hold police officers, primarily white police officers, accountable when they kill people. We know that. This is pre-collaborative. That was the wild, wild west. You could do what you wanted to back then. And Bruce Hoffbauer did. So no, Ray, to answer your question, no, I didn't receive anything from him. I don't expect to. Somebody sent me a message about 2 weeks ago, like, well, yeah, somebody in his family said that he'll come on your show. I didn't believe it then. I don't believe it now. I don't believe it whatsoever. Now, what's the problem? I don't know what the problem is. Like I said, nobody cares more about police brutality than the black community. I'll say it again. Nobody cares more about police brutality than the black community because we experience it the most. We are the tip of the spear. So going on 700 WLW or 55 KRC and talking with white males that don't really have any kind of experience whatsoever and don't really care, right, is not the same as sitting down with Nathan Ivey. It's not the same at all. You're going to get a whole different kind of energy and a whole different set of questions. I mean, quite honestly, you're going to be held more accountable here on this platform. And that's the reason why Bruce Hoffbauer, I don't anticipate he ever will. Now, the door is open. You know my style. I mean, I ask the questions, you answer them or you don't. It is what it is. We move on and we take from what we take from it. But it is what it is. I think it's cowardice. And it's also some of those local racist strategies, right? We don't need the black vote. Okay, we'll remember that in November. We ain't going to forget that. So it is what it is. And again, these are my opinions. You might have a totally different opinion. I'm not telling you got to feel the way I do, fam. I'm just giving you a strong opinion every morning. I'll say it again. In a post-George Floyd world, if you have something like that in your record, at the very least, you should come to the community and talk about it. I'll say it again. It could be completely plausible. From what I've heard, I don't really buy it. I was afraid for my life. How many people have been killed by police officers, and that was the rationale? And everybody knows because of racist systems, they end up getting off. We satisfied with that? Not me. Maybe you, but not me. 513-873 what I'm trying to say. It don't jive with what I'm trying to say. So I'm not going to play your game. I'm just going to put LeBron James on the back of my jersey. And you know what? I think if I was in the NBA, I would do the same thing. I'm not going to let you tell me what social. Hell no. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And that's the overall point. To me, that's the biggest and the loudest speech in all of this is that LeBron James, I think, is making a very intelligent move. That's just me. So if we agree that F the police is too strong for the back of a jersey, why not defund the police? That's what people are saying right now. And the reason why is because that probably cuts against the grain of the relationships between the NBA and, law enforcement that provides security for the teams and the players in all these respective, arenas across the nation. That's probably what it is. But let me go to the phones. Good morning and welcome to the show.
What's going on, Nate? How you doing, man?
I'm doing. I can hear your voice. I'm doing well, brother. I can hear your voice. I'm about to get it, huh? Okay, bring it on, homie.
You silly.
Bring it on. Good morning to you, brother, and welcome to the show.
You're not actually about to get it, Nate. I just want to say that LeBron, if you saw his statements, he said that he didn't get any input. Now I put that pressure straight on LeBron, Nate, because this was negotiated through the NBA Players Association. And you know who's the head of the NBA Players Association? It's Billy, Chris Paul. So, I mean, if anything, and I've heard this, and actually I was on with Rob Parker and Chris Bouchard last night on Fox Sports Radio, but apparently their argument was that, just like yours, that there were, I heard 30, but I think 29 is the number. That, he wanted to put vote on the back of LeBron's jersey or put more than an athlete or some other thing. But again, Nate, you can't, the NBA or any pro league is not going to have the player put F the police on the back of the jersey. I mean, as much as we would, consciously say, I'm okay with it, that's not going to happen in corporate America.
Okay.
Now,
I give you that.
I think that's,
why not defund the police then?
You know what, Nate? That makes a great point. But the only thing is, how would defunding the police be interpreted the way these idiots are already interpreting defund the police? Now, I know we can say, well, what the hell with what they think. But, believe me, Nate, you've heard the argument. They think defund the police means get rid of the police. Now, everybody in the chop shop, the people who actually think and are critical thinkers and actually read and gather information, we know that it's not about just getting rid of the police. It's about allocating funds into other departments and services to where we can avoid a Lorenzo Collins. And maybe we can possibly avoid what happened with Bruce Hoffbauer. So I get that. But, no, as far as the NBA and the names, Nate, out of 29, they can't pick one? I mean, really. That's where I'm at this point. And I'm sure that I would have loved to see players have HBCU on the back. And that brings more, they want to, maybe people out there like, what does HBCU mean? I mean, believe me, there are people out there that have no freaking idea. I mean, I argued with the guy down in Dallas, Scott Sloan, a couple years ago, when he was talking about HBCUs, and he said, well, historically black colleges were only meant to segregate people. I know they built historically black colleges because they couldn't get into white colleges. So we decided to build our own stuff. Just like we decided to build our own Miss Black Miss America, Miss Black Team Cincinnati, because we originally couldn't get into those other organizations or contests or whatsoever. So we decided to build our own itch. So I get that part of it. But no, is LeBron's making a statement, Nate, by not. But LeBron makes statements outside of just that jersey. And again, this gets back to you and your little mural argument, which I disagree. I think you're trying to trigger those people, Nate. I'm going to tell it like I see it. But I think he has a lot more on the table than just the name on the back of his jersey. Now, as far as that mural, are you still there, Nate?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Now, as far as that mural, Nate, that all jumped off when you played the tangible card. And you know how we do, man, especially the artistic people in our community, hell, in any community. They tend to be a little bit more expensive than most. They don't come after me. But as soon as you said that, what they were saying, Nate, is that you're inferring that I don't know that there has to be more than just paint on the ground, that it has to be more than tangible. That's where they took offense at, Nate. Like you were questioning their motivation, or you're questioning that they're not staying on code, as you like to say. And I think that's where all the interpretation came from, just in my opinion. What do you say?
I don't know. You could be right. Could be right about it. I don't care what they thought. I know what I was saying and why I was saying it. I mean, you can't. I can't worry about how people interpret a flow, how people interpret opinions. I mean, that they want to take it in a negative fashion. Take it in a negative fashion. I mean, it's all about how you interpret things. I know everything I said was factual. I know that, and but all things are open to interpretation. So it is what it is. As I said before, black people. I'll say it again. As I sit here right now, on August 14th, 2020, black people are in the same position as we were before the mural was down there. Those are facts.
That's true, Nate. But I mean, it's not. But the point is that that doesn't make the mural any less of a statement, or any less of an accomplishment, or any less of or lessens the artistic value of it.
Well, you're right. That didn't lessen it. What lessened it was the lack of foresight to make sure they could protect it. And now people are driving all over it and they've destroyed it. That's two different things.
But they do that in other cities, Nate.
Do they?
I mean,
I'm sure there's a Nathan Ivey in that city too, saying the same thing I'm saying. Let's invest in things that are more permanent.
I know, but Nate, this doesn't make it. Just because you have a mural on the ground doesn't mean that they can't still get those tangible things that you think that you're talking about.
Okay, so what they're saying is that the mural.
It doesn't mean that. I mean, like you say all the time, Nate. We can talk and chew bubblegum at the same time.
I try not to say that. I tried to use that trait. Other people use that, and I just have to deal with it.
Right, but I think that they took the small offense to you suggesting that they're not on code and that it's just about a mural, and I think that's where all of this started. And then, like I said, they tend to be a little sensitive, and you got flows. They rated E for everybody, so they didn't know how to take it. But one good thing, Nate, you probably got more listeners to the Nathan Ivey Show now. You got more people checking out the Friends of the Nathan Ivey Show Facebook page, so that's another good thing. I mean, what did he say? All publicity is good publicity, or what's that old saying, old trope? So it works both ways for you. Now people are checking you out, and maybe they no longer mad at your flows about the mural, and and they were like, hey, this guy actually, despite me disagreeing with him as far as the mural is concerned, I kind of like his flow. So it can be a positive way I feel.
Well, I mean, I don't connect the two, but okay, I hear what you're saying. That's great. I don't think there's a connection between me talking about the mural and people listening to the show and going to the Friends page. I think those are two separate things. But whatever's clever. It's all good.
Hey man, hey, it's 9 o'clock, man. The man gotta have me check in, so I can sit here in my kitchen and get on this computer. So hey, I'm gonna be listening as always, man. Have a good one, bro.
I appreciate it, man. That's Mason Marlowe. I knew I was in trouble. I could hear it in his voice when he called in. I appreciate it. I don't see the connection between the two. What am I here to do? Waste my time and tell you lies? I give you strong opinions from my perspective. I'm going to continue to do that, bar none. It don't matter. I don't care how people take it, because I know the way I intend it. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing about that is it's really about, the way, what's really in other people's hearts and their interpretations of it. I can't control that. It is what it is. People want to take it negatively, take it negatively. It's what it is. Ain't nobody thinking about my feelings when they say stuff to me. So, I mean, it is what it is. That's my opinion, and I stand by it. And we'll see what happens. 513-873-7134. It is, like I said, everybody wants black men to stand up until the black man stands up and says something you don't like. And then they say, sit the hell down real quick in this city, which is part of the problem. Everybody want black men to stand. Where the black man at? I'm a black man standing up for my opinion. He says, as soon as you do that, some people in this city, we don't really want you to stand up. Please sit back down, please. No, I refuse to. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. It's Tracy.
Hey, Tracy, good morning.
So I got a question. I'm sorry I'm huffing and puffing. I'm a little annoyed. I drove all the way to work, and my commute is Forest Park all the way over by Moncton Airport, and I forgot my badge. And we can't work without our badges, so I had to drive all the way back home, and now I'm all the way back on this side of town. I got a headache. Okay, so your slogan has been for the past couple of weeks, join the movement, start a movement, start a movement, join a movement, or whichever order it's in. So I'm thinking that Yeah, personal. Okay, so I'm thinking that, people that have painted these murals have joined a movement nationwide, sort of like this sweeping movement of creating these murals. And I'm trying to understand if that's, your personal slogan, what's wrong with the murals. I get it. You said they're not tangibles, but is there anything else? Do you consider this a movement?
Okay, so could you say that one more time? I
Do
didn't
you
really hear it all.
Do you consider the artists painting the murals nationwide? Do you consider that a movement that people have joined?
Do I consider that a movement? That's a good question.
Because I'm joining
I would
as
say
a sweeping movement.
I would say that it has the potential, but it's too early to tell. That's what I would say. I would say potentially, but at this point, I would say no. But it has the potential for that. We have to wait and see what happens in the weeks and months and years to follow. Hopefully not years. Hopefully it's just weeks and months.
So then what would make it a movement then? If it's, it has the potential, what do they have to do to actually make it a movement? Because this is something that people are jumping on board nationwide and doing, city to city.
Yeah, I don't care about none of that though, Tracy. Like when I heard about what happened in D.C., I was unimpressed. That was the first city I heard about. I was unimpressed about paint on the streets. Whether it's in Cincinnati, D.C., or Indianapolis, it means nothing to me. For it to be a movement means that it's organized efforts to get the three things I talked about: equity, policy, and tangibles. That's what would make it a movement. But paint on the streets to me, and again, I said that in the spirit of just knowing my people in this city. Some folks will look at that and be like, oh, it's the finish line. Wait a minute. Let's not fall asleep here, family. Let's make sure that we keep our eyes on the real prize here and not just get satisfied because white people gave black people a chance to paint on the streets, because that's essentially what happens. And a lot of people were satisfied with that. And I'm not satisfied with that. And I don't think we should be satisfied with that. And now when I read, or it was really on Twitter, I seen an image of somebody had posted a photograph of what was happening to the mural down there. I'm thinking, now it's being destroyed. Why wasn't there foresight in this? You know what I'm saying? And I think the real movement is about, as I said, equity, policy, and tangibles, not the struggle to keep paint on the streets. So that's how I feel about it.
Okay. That was my question this morning, because I was just, visualizing this Black Lives Matter mural painting sweeping nationwide. And I said, well, wait a minute, isn't that a movement? So that's what's been my question. Yeah,
and I know that there's people involved with it that are doing and putting together some really, really fantastic things from what I've read here in the city. I applaud. That's great. Mm-hmm. I support all that. I'm about that. Now I'm about all of that. But I'm just not somebody who gets, over caught up with symbols and things like that. Like when I saw what happened in D.C., it meant nothing to me. I was like, next. Meant nothing. Now, if the people behind it are going to turn into a movement and are fighting for equity, policy, and tangibles, that's something different. That's a whole different conversation. But until then, I stand by what I said.
Okay. And another thing, it sounds like parents in the Wintonwood City School Districts is leaning toward sending kids back to school if it can be safely done, however they interpret safely. I attended the Board of Education meeting last night online, and according to our parent survey, there were 40% of parents who said that they wouldn't have a problem sending their kids back into the classroom as long as they could be safe and they had the proper PPE equipment and all of that. So we'll see how that goes.
So, Tracy, does that mean that 60% of the parents are against it then? That would be a majority.
Well, the way he tried to spin it like it was a good thing. Well, 40%. Well, see, there were so many different questions, and 40% was leading because the other questions were like, okay, part-time, going to school, or taking the whole semester off, or there was different categories. So the leading percentage was 40% of people saying yes, send their kids back to school rather than part-time, or it was just too many questions. But he made it sound like it was in favor of people going back to school. So, that 60% was sort of chopped up among other questions. I'm sorry to state that incorrectly.
Yeah, well, thank you for giving me that information this morning, because I didn't get a chance to be a part of it last night and be able to report back. So I appreciate that. I mean, how do you feel about it? Do you have any? Is one of your sons? Is your youngest son returning to school this year? Or are they done?
Yeah, he's going to be a 10th grader. And, I want him to go back to school because, like I said before, when all of this started and he made straight A's that he didn't earn, in that pass or fail system, he just felt like he wasn't being taught anything. It was like, here, do this assignment and turn it in and get a grade. He received some special education services for math and reading, and he needs to be there. As long as it's safe, as long as, there's no spikes in the numbers in the schools, which is still kind of alarming to me because we live in 45240, and that was one of the hot spots. So we'll just have to see. He's not going to ride the bus, so, not worried about that. But I'm just, keeping my finger on it and keeping my finger on the pulse of everything that's going on. He's been in the house. He really hasn't gone anywhere. He needs to get out. He needs to be back around his friends. He needs to get that education. We can't afford to let another year go by and our kids get uneducated or partially educated. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I got a 10th grader myself, and I feel the same way. I feel like she needs that, but at the same time, not at the expense of her overall health. But,
Right.
I guess we're taking a wait and see posture. Like, we'll wait and see if anything bad happens between now and the beginning of school.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm going into work now with my mask and gloves and everything, and I got to be here for 8 hours. So, hopefully he can do it for 6.
Right. Right.
We'll see. We just got to get around it.
Now, is Forest Park doing the same thing CPS is doing, where it's like, they're only going to be there for like 3 days or 2 days and then 3 days and 3 days and 2 days a week?
They haven't announced the plan yet. They were just talking about the results of the survey. So they really have not finalized the plan. So that's what we have to wait and see. And that's supposed to come out this week.
Okay.
Hopefully.
It's coming out this week. Okay. All right, Tracy. Well,
Yep,
thank you
I'll
so
let
much.
you know.
Yep. Have a great day.
Okay.
Yeah, most def.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We don't have to agree, disagree, but we don't have to be disagreeable. And everybody's open to be challenged on the Nathan Ivy Show. Believe me, the host gets it too. It is what it is. It comes with the territory. 513-873-7134. Why? Come on now, people. Listen, new rule. No more prayer walks until after COVID-19 in the city of Cincinnati. You had hundreds upon hundreds of people that were down at Bicentennial Commons for a prayer walk. Now, I'm not underplaying the power of prayer. I think that prayer, meditation, anytime the human will and human concentration is focused, it can be powerful. But it's a damn pandemic. God is not going to protect you from COVID-19. He ain't working like that right now. Because if he was, he'd be protecting all these other folks that are coming down with it. We just got to be smarter than that, man. I mean, can we do the prayer walk like via Zoom or something like that? Or everybody just kind of maybe blue jeans or some kind of app or something like that? I just thought, not for me. Just not for me. I'm willing to go out in some scenarios, obviously, small crowds, big crowds. I ain't feeling you right now because Hamilton County is a hot spot for COVID-19. And I just don't understand these people that don't think that it's real. Or you're like, it don't matter if I get it. Okay, great. If you don't, my issue is not you getting it. My issue is you getting it and spreading it. That's my real issue. And I think that, I'm trying to think, I've been in a grocery store. And I was in the grocery store. I was over at Whole Foods. And I did see some people without masks on. And I thought to myself, like, why would they even let you in the store? If you're a store owner, don't even let them in the establishment. If they want to cause a ruckus and make a fuss about it, call the police on them. Have Karen and Darren arrested. But if I'm trying to get my groceries, right, which is like bare necessities, I ain't doing no other shopping unless it's online. I don't have time for that. You know what I'm saying? Protect other people if you don't want to protect yourself at the very least. Good morning and welcome to the show.
What's going on, Nathan? This is Brian.
Hey, what up, Brian? Welcome.
Hey, thank you. I just kind of wanted to chime in on the question of this reopening schools. I think that this wait and see approach is a dead end and a disaster that's being set up. We know from experience that the state, national, and local governments are not equipped to deal with this because they don't follow. Even in Ohio, that was doing okay for a minute, they don't follow science. Profit is more important than science, and they got us saying things like, "Well, we should reopen because I want my kid to do this, or because they're going to miss this, or I want to reopen because I want to feel better." That's basically the bottom line, or because I'm going to miss 6 months of whatever I'm going to miss, or my kid will, should be in the 11th grade and they're basically going to be in the 10th grade when this is over, as far as education. That's a short-term mentality. We're talking about our lives, and we know that they don't care. Or let's say they do care. They don't care as much as they care about money. They don't care as much as they care about getting things moving the way they want them. And they've used us as fodder for decades and decades on many different examples. But you don't have to go back that far. We see that they say no masks. You don't have to wear masks. When any person that went to science class or any average person can tell you that if you put something in front of your face that can block spittle, there's a bigger chance that you won't pass spittle to someone else. That's just common sense. And this stuff with Fauci, I mean, do we really think that Fauci was allowed to state his absolute opinion?
No.
Do we really think that Axton was able to state her absolute opinion? Or were they all heavily censored, and now Trump turns it around and says, "I see you said this," when knowing that they were pressured to say this and that or curtail their real opinion in order to stay on the podium and keep trying to help people. So, and I don't say this to cape for Fauci. I mean, if you look at Fauci's political nightmare, because kids go everywhere. And the idea that and here's the other thing. This poll that the woman cited, and I know she openly admitted that she didn't quite get all of it and it was confusing, but it's manipulation. The fact of the matter is they say, well, would you want your kids to come back if it's safe? Well, of course, people who want their kids to go back will say, well, yeah, if it's safe, I absolutely want my kids there. But from the funding perspective, from the personnel perspective, any angle you look at it, they don't have enough money. They don't have enough resources to make it safe. That's a fact. I just don't understand how people can ignore that because they want to do something. I want to do this right now. But the schools can't even afford books and photocopies and basic supplies for kids. You think they're going to be able to afford the massive project of keeping everything clean from bell to bell? It's insane. That's all I wanted to throw out there, Nathan. We need to change the tone of this discussion. Instead of saying, well, maybe, or half believing what they're saying, we need to use our recent experience over the last 3 months to say, hell no, it's not going to be safe. And we need to start discussing measures we're going to take to make them keep it closed.
You're right, man. I mean, I wonder if even pre-COVID, if the facility services in these school buildings had all the resources to adequately keep everything clean. That's just day to day, let alone the type of cleaning that we would expect to try to prevent a virus from spreading inside of a school building. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully they'll get more money and resources and they can deal with these kind of things. And if not, what do we fall back on? That's interesting. You said a student and teacher strike, huh? Well, they just say, look, we ain't coming. What would CPS do?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, they'd be stuck. But what would that mean for teachers? Would they be replaced then? Would that go against their contracts? You know what I'm saying? Are teachers willing to do that and put their livelihood at risk? I mean, that's a big ask.
I don't know. I think you're absolutely right. It's a big ask, but it's not an ask. This is what we need to be discussing. If people decide, no, this isn't the time, great. But what I'm saying is that if we really believe that lives are on the line and that teachers, I know some teachers listening to this program right now who are compromised from health point of view, and they're going to be made to go back. And there are going to be teachers that are going to die. And there are going to be families who the teacher goes home or the kid goes home to their family and they die. And we can stop that right now. So it is a question. It's a huge question that teachers and students have to take up. But right now, we're not even talking about the gravity of the situation. We're talking about, well, they say it might be safe. We know it's not going to be safe.
Right. Facts. Matter of fact, a teacher died in Arizona. I think it was a summer school situation. Yeah, she was an elementary school teacher, and she died of coronavirus after sharing a summer school classroom with 2 other teachers that had coronavirus. So it's real. It's not a game out here.
Hey, no last text.
Hey, Brian.
That's all I got, man.
That's all I need, brother. Have a great day.
You too.
Yeah, most def. Yeah, check this out. Beloved, Arizona. If you haven't seen this, let me put it on the screen. Because I'm one of them people that, aside from a very pertinent business, I don't really want to go nowhere. It's not very, I ain't trying to mix and mingle with a whole lot of different crowds. Now, you've seen me out because I've done live streams and things like that. I got to do what I got to do. This is the life I chose. At the same time, I'm still trying to limit, the places I go to. There's a lot of things I'm not doing because of it. And I've got that luxury. These teachers do not. Again, I sympathize. I sympathize for them, and also sympathize for the quality of a teacher that they're going to be to the children, to the students, like my daughter and your son, your nieces and nephews, your grandbabies. If you're a teacher and you're super paranoid about COVID-19, you're going to be able to give a lot to your students? I don't think so. Family, what do you think? 513-873-7134. Look at this. Don't be fooled by empty gestures. White people kneeling and apologizing for slavery don't mean nothing. We passed apologies. We way past apologies. We already know you was wrong. I hate it when grown folks try to think that by telling me something I already know means something to me. It don't mean nothing at all. Have you seen the video? Dude was crying. This man right here was crying. He was in his feelings. Listen, I got to take a quick break. And let me say this. The promotions that you hear for political candidates are not personal endorsements from me. They are promotions. And that's what they're intended to be, and that's what they are. Somebody asked me on Facebook, like, well, Nate, is that your personal endorsement? No, it is not. That is a promotion with the Nathan Ivey Show. Before we go to a break, though, let me take one more call. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Hi, this is Mrs. Love Being Black. How are you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Mrs. Love Being Black? Good morning to you.
Good morning. I was calling in on a couple of things.
Okay.
You've been on fire this morning. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna start off with the school. Being an educator myself, I am having like mixed feelings on the lines of I worry about the COVID-19 part, but the part that I worry the most about is not having that every day or at least once a week or some type of contact with all my students. One of the things that I worried the most when we left in March was the well-being of my students and how they're doing. And it was a couple of students all the way up to today. I've been calling daily, trying to get in contact with them because I have not heard their voice or talked to them or seen them or anything since March. And I get in contact with the parent and ask, can they put them on the phone? They like, they all right. And I don't know if they alive or dead, and that put a stress factor on someone who care about their children. And I care about my students. And it's like, I worry about that. And then, so having that 2-3 days that they come in and I can see that they're okay. I can know that they get food in their body. I can see these things happening, and know what's going on. That part is what I'm looking forward to. The part that I'm worried about is the COVID part and the contact of knowing that children, first of all, are not going to want to follow with the mask. Then we got so many people out there who's against wearing masks and against this, against that. How many parents I'm going to have to deal with because they want to come in and have a fit because we telling their children to put on a mask, or, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is the other side of it, plus the health issue part of it. And moving on from that what you was talking about, LeBron not putting a statement on, pre-written statement on his back. I agree with LeBron. Don't tell me I could put something on my back to tell me what I could put on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm an adult. I have common sense. I know what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. So I might want to, like you said, I might want to address a personal issue. Like me personally, I feel really strongly attached to the fact that I feel like John Crawford III never get any acknowledgement. And this man wasn't nothing but a young father in in Walmart buying things, and one of them was diapers for his baby. And I don't really hear too much of anything about him. And it makes me wonder if because his person main face was his father, and that's them discrediting black men as an overall system of not allowing this man to be one of the ones that's faced in a lot of things. A lot of times we don't hear nothing about him. They name everybody's name, but they don't talk about him. And here we are in Ohio, and nobody boycotted at Walmart. And I'm like, if we gonna protest a store, why are we not out there protesting at Walmart? Where this happened in Ohio, right up the road, and we out here looting and rioting. Hey, let's take it to the Walmart parking lot.
Yeah.
But
that's
the way.
Just to be fair, though, people did, like, right after it happened and when it was fresh and when the trial was going on, there were people that was in that parking lot. Even some people from Cincinnati went up there to let their voice be heard and do a public protest, just to put that out there, just to be fair. But I hear you saying, why are we not keeping that same energy and bringing... I agree with you. That's why I bring up John Crawford all the time, because I feel like he's being forgotten.
Yes. And I know what it was. He got shot, then a week later, it was the Mike Brown, or something like 2 weeks later, Mike Brown incident. Mm-hmm. And he kind of got, overshadowed by that. But we got to make sure... I mean, that's why I feel like I agree with LeBron. Don't tell me what to say. You know what I'm saying? As long as I stay appropriate now, you can maybe approve if you feel, but don't tell me no prior statements. Now, we got all these people in the league and everybody got the same statement. Then it means nothing. That's the way I look at it. That's how I feel about Black Lives Matter. It done came so popular that it done lost its thunder. It's like, okay, it's just another statement again. It's like saying, what's up? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it means nothing. It's that gesture like when people walk past you, like, how you doing? When you know they really don't care how you doing because they don't walk past before you answer. Mm-hmm. And that's the way I'm starting to look at Black Lives Matter. agree. Even though I'm an educator, I agree. I agree that parents need to be more involved. I agree that parents need to join whatever boards they need to join, curriculum boards, all this, because there's so many things as being an educator. We're in there. Some of us are in there fighting. Like the new curriculum we got with the reading across the board. We had to fight to be able to make sure some of those stories have Black characters, Black images, Black stories in there, where all the stories in one that they was looking at, luckily they didn't go with it, went nothing but white stories and white characters. So therefore, we need to continue to be on top of it because it's serious. When I started at the school I'm at, they were singing for Black History Moment songs, Way in the Water, all these slave songs, reaching down, picking that cotton. I had to come in there and get that all changed. First of all, our history don't start at slavery and don't end at Martin Luther King.
Right.
So therefore, I'm going to need y'all to do better. And then they got upset because I started teaching about Kemet and putting up images and putting all this stuff around. So we got to, and as me being a parent and a teacher in that school, they had to listen because I ain't going nowhere. So therefore, you can come at me as a teacher, then I'm going to come at you back as a parent. As a parent, this is what I want my child to learn. So we do need to be involved. You need to be in there. And I appreciate you in and out of other choppers and people who say things because it makes me reevaluate what I need to do and making sure that I'm standing up and making sure that things are going right within the areas that I can change. So that's all I really want to call in and talk about.
I appreciate you. Thank you for the call. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's Mrs. Love being Black. Man, she said a lot. I mean, that curriculum, what does it take to change the curriculum? I don't think anybody out there would disagree that Black students in CPS would do much well if the curriculum was more a reflection of their actual history. Not that same old BS they've been teaching since I was in school, since our grandparents was in school. That's every bit a part of white supremacy is the whitewashing of our American history and Black history. And again, it didn't start with slavery. If you really talk kids about that, like there's a website, there's a YouTube channel called Home Team History. Oh man, it's excellent. If you're on YouTube, you should check out that YouTube channel. It's one of my absolute favorite YouTube channels. That brother's doing excellent work. If they had a curriculum around that, something like that, Home Team History on YouTube, Black children would do better in class. Because it'll be something they'd be more interested in. 513-873-7134. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. I've got to take a quick break. We'll come right back. Don't go anywhere. All right. We're talking about numerous things this morning. And if you want to share your thoughts, I would love to hear them. The show and the flow will continue right after a few messages.
There are a few times in life to make history. Hamilton County was founded 230 years ago, but has never elected a Black county treasurer. It's time for change. Elect a proven, trusted, experienced candidate for Hamilton County Treasurer, Charlie Winburn. We know Charlie, and he knows us. Charlie Winburn was the former chairman of the Jobs and Growth Committee on Cincinnati City Council under the Honorable Democrat Mayor Mark Mallory. Winburn led the fight to keep 2,000 U.S. postal jobs in Cincinnati. He also fought for wage increases for thousands of city employees, especially our sanitation workers. Charlie Winburn will safeguard more than $1.4 billion in real estate taxes and will increase new home ownership and new jobs. On Tuesday, November 3rd, vote Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer. Let's make history together.
I am Charlie Winburn, and I'm asking you for your vote paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
145 over 92.
180 over 111.
I had a heart attack and a cardiac arrest, and then a stroke.
Your blood pressure numbers could change your life. Lowering your high blood pressure could save you from a heart attack or stroke. If you've stopped your treatment plan, restart it or talk to your doctor about creating one that works better for you. Start taking the right steps at manageyourbp.org.
Now I'm, trying to get better, stronger than ever.
Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived in Philadelphia. Local time is 3:05 p.m. and the temperature is 67 degrees. At this time, you are now free to use your cellular devices.
You know that feeling when you get to turn your phone on after the plane lands? You can have that feeling every time you drive. Make sure your cell phone is stowed away whenever you are behind the wheel.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Knowing your breasts can save your life. Go to knowyourgirls.org for the facts you need on breast health. Brought to you by Susan G. Komen and the Ad Council.
This is Zoe Wesson. What side of history do you want to be on? The right side, or one where black people continue to be underrepresented in Hamilton County? Now's your chance to 230 years of exclusion. Indeed, the Cincinnati NAACP President's Award, who fought on the Ohio Civil Rights Commission for 6 years, who received the Baptist Ministers Conference Community Service Award. Charlie Winburn has received the Southern Christian Leadership Conference Award and was honored by WDBZ The Buzz as Pastor of the Month. We know Charlie Winburn, and he knows us. He's the right man to put us on the right side of history. On Tuesday, November 3rd, vote for Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer.
I am Charlie Winburn, and I'm asking you for your vote on Tuesday, November the 3rd, paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
Now back to the show.
All right, good morning, everybody. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by symbols. Don't be fooled by people taking down statues. Don't be fooled by law enforcement officials or politicians kneeling, religious folks kneeling. Don't be fooled. It don't mean a damn thing. If it's not equity, policy, intangibles, then it's just entertainment. It's nothing more than entertainment. Good morning to you. Welcome back. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. I'm telling you, man, I'm going to say something that people are not going to like, but I'm going to say this again. Black people, in some cases, are black people's own worst enemy, especially in this city. It's just really interesting to sit back and how people react and what they say. That is real interesting. And for smart people, just watch, just look, pay attention. Pay close attention. 513-873-7134. It is amazing. I think it's hilarious, quite honestly. But what do you think? So I went to the Choppers this morning on Spreaker. There's a couple ways that you can interact with the show and view the show. We are obviously on Facebook. We're on Spreaker, the Spreaker Network, Nathan Ivey Show. We're on TuneIn. TuneIn is a free app that a lot of people use, and they allow you to stream audio. And you can check out the show. We're on there live as well. And also on YouTube. So you got 4 ways to interact with the show and to connect with the show. And hopefully one of those 4 ways is a way that you're already using. Maybe you're watching some other content and you can just check out the Nathan Ivey Show as well. Also, please like and share today's show. I really appreciate it. That will expand the reach of the show. More people can hear the show and plug into the show. This is Cincinnati's only digitally based black talk show, morning show in the Cincinnati area. We were first. Everyone else is following our lead. See here, where are we going here? C. Smith writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Good morning.
Get to the Choppers!
Roll with it. We've been doing it for a while. Roll with it. Sarana writes, I'm wrapped up too. AC blasting. Yeah, it was chilly. Very chilly. I know you might be wondering, why has he got a sweater on? It's the summertime. That's why. A sweatshirt. Hey, Bertha's in the house. Hey, good morning to you, Bertha. Good to see you. Brenda writes, good morning. Hey, good morning, Brenda. Hopefully the sound is back, C. Smith. Hopefully we're good. Daniela writes, period, it makes no difference. I think she's talking about the mural. She writes, I can pray at home. God is with me. Right. We need God-fearing people. Like, I'm a big believer that you got to believe in something more than money, hoes, and clothes. All the nigga knows. You got to have something you believe in other than these surface-oriented things and materialistic things. I love that. But we also got to be smart. And there was a big conversation about whether the churches should open and whether God was going to protect you. They just had this big unity walk down on Bicentennial Commons. Hundreds of people down there, which is great. I love the display of unity, but it's a pandemic, people. Why is it so hard for people to get it? It's like, unless people are like literally dropping dead from the disease, they don't think it's real. Like, this is real. It is real. Okay, thank you, Pat. Thank you, Pat. She's saying that when I put the visuals up, that sometimes it messes with the sound, so I'll stop doing that. I agree. Mike Jones or Ms. Jones writes, good morning, Choppers. Can I leave a group link here? Sure. Go right ahead. Yeah, I mean, if it's some realness, no nonsense, absolutely. Absolutely. Good morning to you. Daniela writes, I felt the same way. It's like, come on, people. I know you want to come together. See, I think that there's something very primal about when certain humans feel insecure or scared, they want to congregate together because it makes them feel better. I think there's something primal about that, especially religious folks. Like I completely understand it. Like some religious folks really enjoy going to church. There's something about being in the room with other people that feel the same way you do religiously or spiritually, and they get energy out of it. I 100% agree with it. I get it. I understand it. But this is a pandemic, people. Like I said, people out here getting COVID-19, and depending on your immune system, pre-existing conditions, you could have a real adverse, reaction to it. Brother Kenyatta is on Facebook right now. He's a DJ here in Cincinnati. A lot of people know him and like what he does. He's been recovering from it. I saw some of the posts he put on Facebook, on social media. It's real. I just want you to be happy and healthy. That's it. I don't want you to catch COVID-19 because you at the Unity March. I think it was irresponsible, quite honestly. I'm going to go ahead and say it. In these days and times, it's irresponsible. It's crazy. And yet I wonder how many some of these same folks had a problem with Rashawn Davis because he said after coronavirus and had a party down in the OTR. Now everybody's doing it. And the numbers are even higher. The threat is even more of a threat than Rashawn Davis did it. And you got folks doing this like this is a civilized approach to things. And the whole thing about praying for social justice, some of you religious folks ain't going to like it. I'm just not so sure that's going to work. I mean, again, I believe in the power of prayer and concentrated and focused human concentration. Okay. Meditation. I think all that stuff is real. But in terms of social justice, we need action, not prayer. I mean, if the prayer gives you energy that leads to the action, cool. But it's the action that matters. It's the actions, man. It's just like the folks that was like criticizing me and others because we was talking about Jada and Will. I might talk about it again. People saying stuff like, what about Breonna Taylor? What about her? And we beyond talking. We shouldn't be talking about Breonna Taylor. We should be putting action in your particular city and your state to prevent no-knock warrants. That's what we should be doing. We beyond talking about what happened to Breonna Taylor. It's about taking the example and putting it in place where you live at. And because we have a conversation about Will and Jada, which I think was very relevant to people's real lives and relationships, it ain't stopping nothing. People that's doing action is still doing action. They ain't stopping. Larry writes, 0.42% of the U.S. population have a confirmed COVID-19 case. That means 99.58% of us don't. We need more God than we need paper masks. Well, again, I mean, that's your opinion, Larry, and thank you for sharing this morning. I mean, that's how you feel. I can't tell you that you're wrong about that, especially not about something about God. I mean, we all have our personal viewpoint about it. Let me see. That means 99 we need more God than we need paper mask. I would say, as I said before, Larry, in general, I agree with you in general that we need more people that care more about things other than money, women, clothes, cars, power, those kind of things, and more into spiritual matters that will lift up and reaffirm the human spirit. I'm with that. But we are living in the middle of a pandemic. This is a pandemic. Your health is on the line. Not everybody's going to succumb to it the way or have a reaction the way other people do. Not everyone's going to die from it. But I think we should all play a role in making sure we don't spread it. So I think there's a place for both. I don't think it's either or, Larry. I don't think it's like you got to choose God or a paper mask. Okay. Because what offers you more protection from COVID-19, God or a face mask? I'm going to say a face mask. I'm just going to be honest with you. That doesn't mean I don't believe in a higher power, but I also think there's a role for science as well. And isn't there a scripture where it's something that reads to the effect, God helps those that helps themselves? Well, help yourself then during the pandemic and put on a mask and social distance. Seems simple to me, man. CL writes, Grand Risings. Hey, good to see you, CL. Omar writes, Nate didn't get the memo. You can't spread COVID if you are protesting a riot. Hilarious. Good morning to you. Any public gathering. That's Angie. Good morning to you, Angie. Okay, C. Smith says it's good. Great. Thank you. Great. Because I put this whole production together. I want to make sure you can get the most out of it. Daniela writes, I'm different too. We need to stop the BS and stay home. I agree. I mean, COVID-19 has slowed down a lot of my plans, a lot of things I was working on with Sand Digital, working with a lot of good people. I mean, I'm all about elevating, powerful, strong, intelligent, entertaining, black voices in the greater Cincinnati area. It slowed me down. And it's a choice I'm making. I mean, yeah, the world is open back up, but I mean, let's be smart on this. Business will be here later. We get back to business. Right now, this is about health. You know what I'm saying? This is about health. C. Smith writes, yes, that's why these murals etched into the streets make no sense. Use a building. Deanna writes, it's peeling too. It looks crappy now. It's a main street to use to get to the west side. The color is fading. Yeah, again, I don't want to make it seem like I'm against anybody's effort because I'm 100% behind all efforts that support, protect, lift up, build black power, black social power. I'm about all of that, 100% across the board, right? But you can't ask me to turn my brain off. I mean, it is what it is. And again, I support all efforts. I'm not against anybody. I'm for everybody. Let me see. Eddie writes, painting the streets is a reminder we got bigger issues. Okay. Miss Jones has a link here to a Facebook group. I can't link it from where I'm at, but perhaps other people can. Black Russia's in the house. He writes, good morning, alt middle. He writes, PG doesn't care about black people. Okay. I know you are a staunch, anybody but PG Sittenfield person. You have clearly shared that over the last year or so. Clearly. I know you are really big on the whole conspiracy theory with the text messages. And again, that's your viewpoint, man. I can't tell you how you should feel. And again, we shall see. I mean, as of right now, we got PG Sittenfield. Hold on, let me see if I still have this graphic available. Yeah, here it is. As of right now, we have PG Sittenfield or David Mann. That's what it's going to come down to. Those are the two choices we have right now. I wish that we had a person of color in the race for diversity's sake, for a conversation, to bring the conversation to a different level. But at this point, we do not. I was looking forward to Mr. Smitherman being in the race. I thought it was going to be straight fireworks. I thought it was going to be straight fireworks. And like I said, man, I love the drama. I'm about the drama. As long as it's not in my personal life or in my business, okay, it's all good. But the question still remains, who should be the next mayor of Cincinnati? Now we can have that conversation. I've been not really into the conversation so much because, we only had one person in the race. First, it was Mr. Smitherman, and he dropped out because of personal issues or personal issues. And then we had Mr. David Mann. And then again, now we have two challengers, both Democrats, both white males, one in his mid-30s, the other, I believe he's 80, that's David Mann. And people should look at their track records. They should listen to their interviews, look at what they have to share, look at what they say about the vision for Cincinnati. In particular, people of color and black people should be asking themselves, what are you going to do for me? In particular, are you going to close these gaps? What are your plans? And then we should assess and analyze who we think we believe, number one. Because politicians say things all the time, don't mean you got to believe it. So who do we believe can actually put in place the visions that they say that they want to give? That's what I think it is. And you know me, we'll be all over this conversation. This won't be the first time we talk about this, I'm sure. Let me see here, back to your chat. Let me get back to it. See, Angie writes, he said it's all essential, so he's not going to shut anything down. He said, wear your mask. C. Smith writes, it's going to be a mess opening these schools. Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. Eddie writes, we'll get worse before it gets better. We got a long road ahead. Well, my listeners and myself are very intelligent people. You know, this is the most intelligent audience of all the audiences of any talk show in Cincinnati, bar none. There are no more intelligent, in-tuned people that's about action than this particular audience right here in the Cincinnati area, period. I challenge you to tell me what audience is more intelligent, more woke, more into what's going on in the greater Cincinnati area than the folks that listen to this show. There are none. So we knew from day one, you know, that this was going to be a long-term thing. I was telling people from day one, this is a stress test for your business. It's a stress test for your personal finances, for your personal health. Dig in, folks, because we're going to be here for a minute. Just kind of looking at, you know, the tea leaves and the way the media is reporting and the information was coming out. And when did this start? March? And here we are in July, mid-July. And this ain't going nowhere. And part of the reason is you got these people out there arguing about their rights. As a matter of fact, in the state of Ohio, let me see if I can pull this up for you. It's actually on my phone. If I missed your phone call, please call me back. I'll put you on. In the state of Ohio, there is going to be, let me see here, screenshot. Yeah. It's, I'm not sure if you can see this. There it is. Stand for Freedom. You see that? Stand for Freedom, Ohio. That's going to be on the 18th. Let me read this to you. It's going to be at the Ohio State House. Anti-mask civil disobedience rally. Anti-mask civil disobedience rally. This is what they're doing out here. This is what you're doing out here. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Somebody's telling me I got a little something in my nose. Appreciate it. I ain't got no shame in my game. I'm human. Appreciate you. Let me see here. Yeah. Anti-mask civil disobedience rally. I listen, I couldn't make this up, yo. I could not make this up. Let me read this to you. At 11 a.m. on July 18th at the State House, some folks are getting together to have an anti-mask civil disobedience rally. That means don't wear your mask to show that you're not a slave, I guess. All right? So they're asking people to come from all over the state to support the idea of not wearing a mask during a pandemic. Like I told you, it's like an episode of The Walking Dead. Once again, The Walking Dead is a long time, very popular, I don't know if it was a horror series, I guess. It's like post-apocalyptic. There's a virus that takes over the world and it turns people into zombies. You're getting bitten by a zombie, you turn to a zombie, and then, you know, you try to kill other people, I guess. But anyone who's watched that show will tell you that the biggest monsters are the humans, which is a reflection of real life. These humans are as big a problem, if not more, than COVID-19. There's no way in hell I'm going to an anti-mask rally. Yeah, these are the Trumpsters, man. They following Trump's lead. Like, wearing a mask is too much to ask, I guess. I don't get it. Maybe you do. Hopefully I'm good now. Thank you for that. I'm not sure who sent me that message, but ain't no shame in my game. I'm human. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. You're right about that. C. Smith posted inside of the Facebook messages the full CPS presentation to the board. The wifey's already gone through it. We were talking about a little bit last night. I have yet to go through it, but I will. I may certainly will. Let me see. Not sure what's happened to the sound there, folks. Is that right, Kamika? Okay, great. I will stop doing that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Appreciate it, Rick. Thank you. So I'll take care of it. I'm not sure what that is, but I'll take care of it. Good morning to you. See, Jericho writes, blasphemy. God is a protector, mister. Yeah, he told us God protects those that protect themselves. You got to protect yourself by wearing a mask. It's in the scripture. Right? I mean, I'm not super Bible guy, so don't get me. I could definitely be misquoted here, but I believe that's in the Bible. God helps those who helps themselves. So during the pandemic, wear a mask, social distancing. If you're not wearing a mask or social distancing, you're not helping yourself. Therefore, God's not going to help you. That's how I interpret it, but it is what it is. Philosophy writes, I fear we are about to go into entire families wiped out. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Kareem writes, I hate it, but Trump is a businessman. He caters to businesses. Business owners need workers to work. And in order for workers to work, they need schools to be open for their workers. It's all about money. Has nothing to do with our kids. That's why Trump and DeVos, as Betsy DeVos, education secretary, are saying that they will cut off federal funding for schools that aren't open full time. Yeah, I think it is sad. C.L. Taylor writes, janitors were among the first to go with the budget cuts. Totally unappreciated. Really? Really? That's how you gonna keep the schools clean? Even before COVID, the schools need to be cleaned on a daily basis. You know, you get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800, over 1,000 people going through any kind of building, eating lunch. You know, things are gonna get dirty. That's not, and then with COVID-19, I guess allegedly what they're going to do is they're going to clean everything down every single day. So that's a big time job. That ain't nothing small right there. Anthony writes, if one child gets seriously sick, we should sue the schools, and all the politicians, since they are pushing this false, all is good narrative. Anthony writes, been a couple teachers that have died. Is that right? Not good. Anthony writes, we'll like to see a bus driver drive and monitor the mask situation on the bus at the same time. A bus driver, right. If you're driving a bus, you're not going to be able to monitor the mask situation. You know what I'm saying? I guess they could. They look through that mirror, they look back, if they can see all the kids, all the students in their faces, and they can see if they have a mask on or not. Listen, when you let children make their own decisions, you're going to have some students that want to play games with the mask. They're going to take the mask off because their mom and dad, are anti-mask. It's about their freedom. They're going to play games. That's going to happen. Let's go to the phones. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, comrade.
Hey, Black Russia, how you doing?
I'm good. What's going on?
Oh, man, just trying to stay above water, brother. What's on your mind?
Man, the same thing. Just trying to stay COVID free. These folks that are talking about some anti-mask rally, I'm cool on that, man. They just don't understand. But they got to catch some stuff out here. I'm for a mask. You should wear a mask. People should keep wearing masks. I plan on wearing a mask the rest of the year.
You wearing a mask right now, right? On a telephone call.
Nah, I'm not that extreme with it because I'm at the privacy, where I stay at. But in terms of wearing a mask on the phone, nah, I don't wear a mask in the house. But when I leave the house, though, for sure. Like I said, I'm probably doing that the rest of the year. Because this is going to be with us through flu season. We mess around and get some super duper flu that we can't beat. No, I'm cool. I don't want that.
Well, what else is in your mind? I saw you on Twitter, man, going hard. PG made it official. I know you are not a PG Seinfeld fan.
Yeah. I wouldn't consider it going hard, but yeah, the reality is I'm not voting for him. It just ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna put wigs on for David Mann.
Are you? Oh, that's a better choice, huh? Put wigs on for David Mann. Okay.
Wigs on for David Mann. I might have an event like wigs on for David Mann, raise some money for him.
Everybody wear wigs and a mask. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Okay.
Hey, we'll have 90 minutes of a great time with wigs on with David Mann.
So you really think David Mann would be a better mayor than PG Seinfeld for the city of Cincinnati right now?
No, there is no question at all. Look, let me ask you a question, Nathan. Like, an African-American male, for example, who is under criminal investigation as a member of city council, comes out and announces that they're running for mayor. Man, people will be trashing this dude. Like, dude, you're under criminal investigation. Why are you even thinking about running for mayor right now? But that's the mindset of PG City, so he can do whatever the hell he wants to do. That's not how you know, to me, he's just not focused on leading the city. He's focused on whatever's going to be in his betterment, personally. David Mann been out here, and I don't agree with David Mann all the time, but he's mature enough, and he seems like he understands what the daily business of the city needs to be. PG's, man, I can't tell you what PG City has accomplished as a member of city council, other than just talking loud, pie in the sky optics, but nothing. Like that rent garbage was trash. You know, he does a lot of garbage, bro. Accomplishes nothing. He's not prepared to lead right now, especially sitting under criminal investigation.
Is he under criminal investigation? Is that true?
That's absolutely true. I'm not lying to you.
What's the investigation?
You remember the special prosecutor, Pat Hanley, that was appointed by Joe Dieters? They got a grand jury that's sitting right now.
Oh, that one. Oh, okay. That's all that that's that Republican versus Democrat politically motivated stuff, isn't it? Does that have something to do with the text messages?
Nah. Look, there's a grand jury sitting right now investigating these clowns, and he's one of them for criminal charges.
What are they investigating?
Is it right now with special prosecuting?
Yeah, what are they investigating? Is it the text messages? I don't remember.
I don't know what they're investigating. I just know that the grand jury is paneled. I don't know what the grand jury is looking at. I'm not at the grand jury.
Right.
It's secret. So, I mean, but there's a grand jury seated. You remember Tamaya Denora's first attorney said that she did get a subpoena to sit to be before that grand jury. Man, I'm telling you, a black dude couldn't get away with it. To be under criminal investigation, announcing you running for mayor, black dude couldn't do it. But the Caucasian millionaire, Seven Hills, Princeton dude, who thinks he can do whatever he wants, will come out here and do this. Now I'm choosing David Mann, bro. There's no question. I agree with you though. I hope an African American jumps in the race, male or female. I don't care. I hope that because they'll depending on who they are and what they're about, I'll take the wigs off for David Mann. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Any chance your boy Smitherman does that?
I don't know. We'll see. I hope he runs against Stephanie Dumas in 2022 for county commissioner.
Oh, county commissioner. Okay.
That's what I think. Because, the city council terms run through 2021.
Right.
Even though the elections are 2021, so 2022 would be set up where he could probably do a good amount of campaigning and maybe win. But, I don't know. He could. Maybe not. I don't know. I like to see Curtis Fuller at this point. Now that we see Cecil Thomas, Mark Mallory, and these other cats ain't running, I like to see Curtis Fuller getting it.
Curtis Fuller.
This kind of sets up like how he ran against Charlie Lukin during the riots of 2001, right?
Right.
And then we had all this unrest. He gave it another go.
And then the Inquirer sunk him with that when they ran that front page article of him walking through the streets with the protesters. Remember that? That seemed to turn the tide against him.
Yeah, but now it's 2020, and it'll be 2021, and that actually will be a moment in history that people can reflect upon and say Curtis Fuller was with us 20 years ago in the streets.
True.
Because things about timing too. Like maybe 2001, maybe it wasn't the right time with Charlie Lukin, but against these clowns, these council members down here right now, at this time, who's running right now, Curtis Fuller, man, I think Curtis Fuller could do it.
You do? Okay. I mean, I think that'd be interesting. That would mix up the pot a little bit. I mean, has Curtis said anything about it on social media or made any statements about it?
I haven't seen it. Yeah. I don't know. I hope he's listening. I hope he listens to you. I hope he hears me. Like, hey, Curtis Fuller, think about running for mayor.
Okay. That's interesting. Any other potential black candidates that come top of mind to you who you think could really get it done?
No, I think PG took them all off the board, which was smart.
So that leaves us with Sittenfield and Mann again. Okay. We'll see, man. Again, I'm going to have the interviews. We'll talk about it here, all the issues, and, people will make a decision for themselves.
Yeah, people need to vote. They better vote this coming November, too.
Absolutely. You already know. We can't overlook November.
Kanye.
You vote for Kanye?
I'm voting for Kanye.
Really? Why?
Kanye to the. Because I think he going to make between Joe Joe Biden and Donald Trump, man, give me Kanye West, man. And the reason why is the same reason why Donald Trump was viable in 2016 against Hillary Clinton. We get these career clowns like Joe Biden and now Donald Trump. You know, unfortunately, things are just going downhill with the pandemic. I'm willing to, trade out for Kanye.
Really?
I'll take Kanye, yeah.
I mean, listen, if he's in the race and he's a viable candidate, then people should consider it, but we haven't heard his platform or anything. I don't know anything other than that.
I don't know. I don't even care. Just give me Kanye.
Just give you Kanye,
I heard enough of Joe Biden. I heard enough of Joe Biden and Donald Trump to know either one of them cats is serious. I mean, Donald Trump has to try to win again, bro. With this nonsense going on with Joe Biden, this is crazy.
So you're willing to wear a white wig for David Mann, and you're going to vote for Kanye in November. I'm not sure if that's a winning plan, but I mean, that's your opinion, bro.
2020 been crazy enough. Just might as well keep it rolling.
Just keep the crazy going, huh?
Just keep the crazy going. Yeah, if it's a general election, a two-man race, I'll put wigs on for David Mann. But I want Curtis Fuller to run.
I want to see you do it. I want to see you put a wig on for David Mann. I think you're just saying that. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
All right. Hey, Nathan Ivey. Let it be David Mann versus P.G. Sittenfield in general election 2021. Let it be them two guys. You go, I'm an active fool. What you mean?
I already know. Like I said, it's already started.
You already know.
People should go on Twitter, man, and follow you and just sit back and look at the hijinks, man. It's straight entertainment.
Hey, at Graxton Law is my Twitter handle.
Right.
But Angela asked me, I'm gonna put a wig on the baby. Like, don't do it to the baby. I said, man, everything's on the table. 2021. If it's BG Sittenfield and David Mann.
What? Wait a minute. She actually what now again?
She had to go put a wig on my little man. I told her everything on the table.
Don't do it, bro. Don't do it, man. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Don't do it, man.
All right, don't give me PG Sittenfield and David Mann then.
That's what we got. That's what we got right now. Unless somebody else jump in the race, that's what it is.
Right now, you're right. But I'm saying general election time. There might be a primary. If it's them two in the general election, wigs on for David Mann.
I don't believe you. I don't think you'll wear a wig. Right. Like I know you're anti PG Sittenfield. I get it, but I don't think you're gonna actually put on a wig. I don't see that. Now I saw you put on that Cranley T-shirt, but wearing a Cranley T-shirt is different than wearing a David Mann white Amadeus wig. It's completely different. Don't do it. Man. Don't do it, bro.
All right, bro.
We'll do it.
Hey, we'll see. You never know.
All right, man.
Take it easy.
Hey, thanks for the call, Black Russia. Das Vidania, that's Black Russia checking in. He is hilarious, man. I'm telling you, it's about that season. It's high entertainment to me. You should go on Twitter and follow him and just follow all the hijinks, man. It is quite hilarious. They're going super hard. And the election is like 16 months away. But, sometimes you got to get out ahead of things. I understand completely. I don't believe you. I don't think you'll wear a white wig for David Mann. I don't believe it. I think it sounds good. You saying that now, but you ain't gonna really do that, bro. I don't really believe it. Oh, man. I don't really believe it, bro. Don't do it, man. I'm still suspect. I'm still, as Fame would say, scusted. See, I'm using your Fame, integrating your flows into the show, Fame. I'm still disgusted at those black parents that allow them children to put white wigs in David Mann's first commercial. That last commercial he did, I'm still pissed about that. Like, what are you doing? Great. Doing great, guy. Welcome.
Yes, it's Hacksaw Jim Thuggin. I just wanted to join your talk show here for it if it's okay.
Yes, it is, Hal. Welcome.
Yeah, I want to, you talk about you being disgusted at the kids wearing the David Mann wigs.
The parents of the kids, not the kids. They're just children.
Yeah, right. The parents, yeah. I'm disgusted at LeBron.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm going to partially agree with Glenn on some level here.
What the hell?
Yeah, I know. I mean, because he's a guy that comes in here talking about neutering wolves. Like, dude, you want to put me to sleep with drugs and open my legs and grab my member and cut it? Like, what kind of guy are you? Always talking about, hope you getting what I'm spitting. You want to grab my legs and cut off my member. What are you spitting, sir? But anyway, that's the problem. LeBron represents the problem with today's so-called woke generation. There's too many damn pop-up activists. If you're an activist, you're an activist 24/7. Okay, so he's telling you what you can and can't say on the uniforms. That's fine. They do that all the time. They just now started allowing Nike swooshes on the uniforms, 10 years ago? 15 years ago? You know, it was holy hell when the Yankees allowed the Nike swoosh on the uniform. They always, you know, the brand is more important. The brand of the league is more important than whatever cause you got going on in their eyes. And of course, yeah, you can't say F the police on a uniform. You know, you got to remember, all those owners, except for one professional team, all the owners of the 4 major professional sports are all white guys. They don't mind police. They're more likely don't have a story of somebody in their family getting jammed up by the cops. So on some level, they're going to tell you, like, whoa now, when you're doing with the protesting. When they have private parties at their $1 million mansions, who's doing the security? Off-duty police.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They're friends with.
Yeah, that example I backed away from. But what's wrong with defund the police? That's what people are saying in the streets right now.
I don't care what they put on their jerseys. The point is that the reason for my call is that if you're an activist 24/7. Defund the police. I mean, it's kind of like what Glenn said. You know, people interpret it wrong. Interpretation is part of your movement. Your challenge is leading a movement.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant, though, how people interpret it. Because look at Black Lives Matter. Like, they're approved to put Black Lives Matter on the back of the jerseys, but we both know there's a lot of people that interpret it wrong.
Uh-huh. And Black Lives Matter is being interpreted wrong in and of itself. We thought it was an organization about black people. No, we found out it was an organization about gay people.
Yeah, but the point is that it's been approved by the NBA to be on the back of a jersey, and yet it's a phrase.
About gay people.
It's a phrase that's open to a lot of misinterpretation. So just because somebody might misinterpret defund the police doesn't mean they shouldn't be allowed to put on the back of a jersey.
You've interpreted the NBA allowing Black Lives Matter as a slogan to be put on the jerseys wrong. You've interpreted that wrong. They're allowing Black Lives Matter because no matter how loud and how loud they talk, how many protests they do, they're really a non-threatening group because it's led by gay people.
Well, whether it's led by gay people or not, that's the whole point. That's the whole point LeBron is making. That how are you going to fake?
LeBron is making is that.
How you going to fake act like you're going to give me the opportunity to turn the back of my jersey into a billboard for social activism that I believe in, but then you're going to predetermine what I put there. So he said, screw it, I won't do anything because none of your pre-approved phrases actually in line with what he believed. I agree. That was the best speech ever.
No. All protests are predetermined what you can do. If we was really about protesting and getting in change, you'd be kidnapping judges and busing people. But you can't because you'll go to jail for that. It's been predetermined. LeBron, if you're an activist, you wear the Black Lives Matter on the back of your jersey because they're giving you a chance to do it. Spread your word. Get over yourself. The movement is more than about your big ass. You know?
That's one way of interpreting
Wear that.
Yeah. You're right.
I guess that's one way because I said you were wrong. I disagreed. Damn.
I'm just saying that's one way of interpreting it.
No, you take every opportunity you can to spread this word, but you want to make it about you and your flipping ego. You spoiled brat.
That's certainly
like
one
Phil
way
Jackson
to interpret
said.
it. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, then.
The other
so
way,
why isn't he doing that?
the other way is that LeBron is a conscious, intelligent black man that is not going to allow NBA owners in the union to predetermine his speech.
No, he a punk ass. He's a punk pop-up activist, only doing it because of the woke social media generation.
And if he wasn't doing it, you be criticizing him saying he should be doing something. So
No,
he's
I
damned if
wouldn't.
he do,
No,
damned
I
if he
wouldn't.
don't. Yes, you
He
would.
wore the I Can't Breathe t-shirt. We loved that. Him and his whole team. We loved when he put on the hood for Trayvon Martin. All they're saying is we just want to monitor it so nobody gets out of hand with it or anything. We want to keep it kind of uniform and keep it somewhat non-threatening, just the terms that everybody already knows.
And that's the problem with it.
But LeBron wants it to be about him. He was the first one that started all this stuff. Athletes speaking out. To shut up and dribble. Okay, they're giving you an opportunity. You don't like the opportunity that they're giving you? You think it's being limited? Okay, but they're giving you a fair opportunity to spread your... What would look better in this NBA bubble where there's only 16 teams you have to worry about than the number one player for the last 15 years wearing a T-shirt on a national audience that says, I can't breathe, or Black Lives Matter.
He can still do that.
He just can't.
He can still wear a T-shirt. We're talking about on the back of the jersey during the games.
Well, okay, during the games. What would look better than seeing that 23 in purple and gold, the league's marquee franchise?
Like I said,
and see it instead of seeing James, you see Black Lives Matter.
That'd be cool. But again, every man is cut differently. Some men are not going to allow others to control their speech, no matter what the stage is. And LeBron James is one of those black men.
His speech is controlled from day one when you sign a contract with the NBA or a pro sports league. They're controlling you as it is. They're giving you an opportunity, son. Quit being a spoiled punk.
Well, sometimes it looks like an opportunity, but it's not really an opportunity.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay. So, Nathan, they're giving him an opportunity. Okay.
Maybe he wants to put vote or die on the back of his jersey, but that's not pre-approved. What's wrong with putting vote or die or vote? Why didn't that make the list of 29 pre-approved messages? Because it's too powerful a message.
I don't know. I don't know why.
Because I'm gonna tell you why. It's probably too powerful and too relevant a message. It's actionable.
I think Black Lives. So you're saying Black Lives Matter isn't powerful?
I'm saying that vote or die is more powerful than that. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying Black Lives Matter in terms of the national conversation has been watered down so much that most people are not either a part of the movement, Black Lives Matter movement, never marched for. It's just something to say for a lot of folks. I'm saying there might be more powerful messages that actually calls to action that maybe LeBron wanted to put on the back of his jersey, but it wasn't pre-approved. So he said, screw it, I ain't gonna do nothing. I get it.
I think that LeBron James, the number one player in the NBA for the last 15 years, and his running mate, Anthony Davis, very marketable, tall, light-skinned, handsome guy, the unibrow as they call him, the two best players on the Lakers, wearing anything political, given that they're allowed, that they set up special circumstances for you players to do that.
I don't believe you.
These whatever. Oh, come on, man.
I don't believe
do it during the year.
I'm just saying, I don't believe you, Fame. I don't believe you.
Well, you're just like a woman who doesn't believe that Jada Smith was the bad person.
I don't believe you.
Some people don't have suspension of disbelief.
I don't believe you.
Just because you don't believe me, don't make it any less
Can I get it out? I don't believe you. I believe that if you was in that same situation and somebody was controlling your speech, you, Mr. #Scusted, would say hell no. Because you're a writer, right?
I would say
you're a writer.
Yeah, they tripping.
So you're a writer. So if you're a writer and your editors told you we got 10 areas that we want you to talk about and only these 10 areas, I think you would rebel against that. Especially if
Where
you
am I
came up
working
with
at?
something. If you came up with something that was outside the guidelines of the bosses that you really felt powerful about, I think you would rebel against it, just like LeBron.
Well, let me pull your move. I need some qualification because if I'm on my first job at the Montford Heights Press, yeah, I ain't gonna say nothing. But if I'm at ESPN the magazine, we need to have a conversation, or I'm gonna tweet it out nationally.
Okay. And
You know,
LeBron
there's
is at the
levels to
equivalent of
everything.
ESPN the magazine. And so he decided,
Exactly.
I'm going to rebel. He said, eyes free.
Exactly.
LeBron said, eyes free. And I'm not going to
Which
play
is
this game
why-
with the NBA. I don't want to go with these 29 predetermined phrases or slogans that's good for the white ownership. If I can't say what I want to say, even within some standards of decency and guidelines, I'm just not going to do it. And I don't think you would either.
In the immortal words of the great black podcaster Nathan Ivey, that's one way of looking at it.
Yeah, I know.
Listen,
I hit my target on that one.
All LeBron has to say is they fronting. They ain't letting us wear what we want to wear, but I'm gonna still do it because I'm riding with the cause.
No, that's one way. No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he could say that, but I think what he said was far more powerful. Far more powerful.
What's gonna be a collector's item in 50 years from now? LeBron James 23 with the Lakers or 23 Black Lives Matter where James should be at? What's gonna be the more memorable jersey?
Who knows? I don't know.
Especially if he wins a title and this year he's wearing Black Lives Matter as he dunks on the Celtics.
Again,
Come on,
Black
man.
Lives Matter is open to a lot of interpretation. Not everybody sees it the way you see it. So maybe that's the reason why he don't want to do it. But I take the man for his word.
20 ever many slogans, or however many, whatever the slogans were, he could have chose one. It could have just been easily a tweet. They fronting. They won't let me say what I want to say, but I'm still going to participate because just like I did with Tamir Rice, just like I did with I Can't Breathe. What was Big Boy name in New York? Choked him out. You know what I'm talking about?
Was it Michael Brown?
Garner. Eric Garner.
No, I'm sorry, Eric Garner. You're right, Eric Garner. Michael Brown was in somewhere else. Right, Eric Gardner.
Ferguson, yes. Ferguson was Mike Brown. Yeah, you know, he did all that then. He did that then. Why can't he do this now?
Because he don't want
These
to.
11th hour
Because he's a
flips.
conscious,
No,
intelligent black. Because he's not a slave. That's why. That's why he don't. Because he's not a
bastard.
slave.
He
And
ain't
he
a
don't have to
slave.
do what
He
master
ain't a
tell him to
slave.
do. That's why.
Oh, what happened with China back in March? What was all that about? Is he ain't a slave?
Now you're bringing up old stuff.
Nike said,
Now you bringing up old stuff.
B. Nike said, hold on, B. Why you illin'? And he changed that up real quick.
Now you're
But
talking
no, he
about old
ain't no
stuff that's
slave.
irrelevant to this
He
conversation.
A pop-up activist. It ain't coming from the heart. He's the Black Sean King. I lost respect for him.
The Black Sean King. You are nuts, man.
It ain't from the heart, Nathan. I can't trust this guy now.
Now you can't trust him because he's a conscious black man that wants to exercise his freedom of non-speech. Okay.
No, it ain't from the heart. But I'm gonna get off of here. Hey, brother, it's been real.
It has been real.
I had fun.
So did I.
And we'll talk at a future moon.
Hopefully so. That man, he said he's the Black Sean King. You and these Sean King references. Dave Zirin is Dave is not black, but he's Sean King. Everybody's Sean King now. Like I said, the reason why LeBron is doing it, in my opinion, is because he's free. He's free. He's actually not a slave. He actually has freedom of choice. He can actually choose to participate or choose not to participate. Wow. Ain't this country great? You know what I'm saying? And I understand completely some pre-approved script. And I'm calling you out. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. After talking to you all these years and knowing you the way I do, you as a writer, if you was working for somebody and they say, you know what, we want you to write whatever you want to write. As long as it's one of these 10 things right here, you're going to rebel against it. Hashtag scussed it. And you're going to say, screw it. And you know you will. But now you want to be hypocritical with LeBron like LeBron don't have the same choices. Please stop. Please stop. The most powerful speech sometimes is silence. And he decided I don't want to participate because these largely non-black NBA owners are not going to tell me how I'm going to express myself in terms of my social activism. And what he said even more particular was that he wasn't a part of conversation, because if he's the biggest star, they should make him part of conversation, see what he thinks. And then secondly, that none of the pre-approved, corporate okay slogans match where he is right now. And let me look at these slogans. Why are none of these pre-approved slogans have anything to do with voting? Because voting is powerful. That's why. Because voting is what matters. That's how you get ish done legislatively. But the NBA's got a problem with you saying vote or die, or voting means everything. Why wasn't that a pre-approved? Let me look one more time. NBA messages on jerseys. I want to look one last time. Make sure I'm not saying anything in error. Because in these days and times, it's all about equity, policy, and tangibles. And I think equity is one of the words that was a part of it. But why not voting? Why not voting? Isn't that what LeBron's doing right now? Yeah, isn't right now LeBron is doing what? He's teaming up with these other players to try to create, I don't know if it's a political action committee, but something that's politically oriented. He's trying to make it so that when people come to the games, they can actually register to vote at the games. Okay, great. I mean, that's potentially powerful. Why isn't that pre-approved? Because it doesn't fit with the overall agenda of the people that control the NBA. That's why. So we say, you know what? Nah, I ain't going with that. Let me check one more time. I want to see what these pre-approved messages are one more time here. Let me see here. Let's see. The Los Angeles Lakers star on Saturday said he'll be one of the few NBA players who will forego a social justice message on the back of his jersey when the season resumes. I actually didn't go with the name on the back of my jersey. It was no disrespect to the list that was handed out to all the players. I commend anyone that decides to put something on the back of their jersey. It's something that didn't really seriously resonate with my mission, with my goal. That's it. What's wrong with that? The list of the suggested messages. Okay, I take that back. You can't say Black Lives Matter, say their name, vote. Okay, you can't say vote. I like that. But he said he felt like it didn't fit his agenda at that particular time. Okay, great. I got no problem with it. It is what it is. Where we at on time here this morning? Okay, we're at 2 hours and 20 minutes. So I got to make a move, family. I got to make a move. There's a lot of stuff going on today. I'll be back with you bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and we will chop it up. And I'll try to get to as many of your chat as I possibly can. Let me see. Lord, who is Jada's cheating heart? You know who it is. Imagine a black city council member under criminal investigation announcing he or she is running for mayor, but you don't even know what the criminal investigation is. What? Renee writes, morning, everyone. Mason Marler writes, I would say the same to black people in Joe Dieter's campaign video will also campaign for Bruce Hoffbauer. Brian writes, chop of the morning rebels. Absolutely. Clumatic writes, you know some self-hating Negroes will vote for Hoffbauer and Dieters. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. Ain't no doubt about it. 100%. You have a point, Clue. They are the same dusty Negroes caping for Jim Neal. How'd that work out, LOL? Thank you so much. Cincy Tigers writes, remember to like the show on speaker. It means everything. Your like and shares mean everything. Mike Jones writes, the Inquirer piece was elementary school journalism, straight white supremacy in journalism. Mike Jones, that's what I thought. I thought the same thing. It was it was horrible journalism. Like I said, just because somebody has drugs in their system does not mean they deserve to be killed. Just because somebody shows suicide tendencies does not mean they deserve to be killed by a police officer. You got two police officers who've been trained, who are armed, and they can't subdue an unarmed man. The only option you had was to kill him, Bruce. And then all these police officers do the same thing. They double down on it. The man who killed John Crawford III, you know what he said afterward? I do it again. They all say that because that's a part of the racist game that they play when they kill unarmed people. They can't have no regrets. Oh, my life was in danger. Every one of us knows that's a game that's being played. And that's the game that Bruce Hoffbauer played. He's still playing today. Oh, I do the same thing. My life was in danger. Why? Because the man was coming towards you? If you're that scared, you shouldn't be on the police force. That's how I look at it. Oh, thank you so much. That was C. Smith. Thank you so much, C. Smith. I appreciate it. No reason to feel no way about it. I appreciate you. Listen, got to make a move. Have an excellent rest of your day. I'll be with you tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8 a.m. We'll chop it up on everything that's going on. All right. Remember our motto: winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. Stay focused, stay winning, and we'll catch up real soon. We'll catch up real soon, should I say. All right. Have an excellent rest of your day, and I'm out.
Stereophonic sound for the home is recorded on two separate tracks, each one giving special emphasis to certain sections of the orchestra, as heard from those positions. Now, when played back simultaneously on two separate systems, the sounds are blended together to achieve a new dimension in sound impossible to obtain in a monaural recording.